Adam, great to be with you. Love the backdrop. Very professional, very nice. Adam does a great job covering the Mariners and the Seahawks, of course, for the Seattle Times. So let's talk about these M's a little bit. Logan Gilbert, we'll start with him, Adam, has been diagnosed with a grade 1 right elbow flexor strain and placed on the injured list. Now, this is not something that Logan Gilbert is familiar with, that whole IL. How serious is this?
Yeah, I think the Mariners believe and hope that they've dodged a bullet here. I talked to Logan on Saturday right after he wrapped up his MRI, and he's encouraged. Obviously, he's frustrated. He's never been on the injured list before in his major league career. He wants to be out there for his team. He's confident in this team. He wants to be part of it. But this is obviously the best thing for him, the best thing for the team at this point. Shut it down for a couple of weeks. They'll reassess, see where he's at. I don't think the Mariners and Logan Gilbert are out of the woods entirely yet. I mean, yes, it's a grade 1 flexor strain, which is encouraging, but you just never know with elbows, right? If we've learned anything in this era of pitching, they're unpredictable. You don't know. So obviously the Mariners have their fingers crossed, hoping for the best with Logan Gilbert. He's going to be shut down for a couple weeks, and obviously you would expect at least 2-3 weeks of buildup after that if they deem he's healthy enough to return. But I think it is an encouraging update, at least at this point.
Encouraging that everybody's flexor strain ends up being a UCL. I mean, let's, like you said he was encouraged. Did you bring any, like, not negativity, but like the reality is that's like normally a precursor to Tommy John, and this guy's never been hurt.
So, yeah, and you hate to put it this way, but, for a guy who has thrown as many innings as he has over the last 4 years and throws as hard as he does and throws as many splitters as he does, you wonder if it is a ticking time bomb. And again, maybe this is a precursor to something more serious, but the fact that it was a grade 1 and they were encouraged by the images that they saw, again, is why they're walking away at least a little bit encouraged. Again, maybe they'll reassess, take another image in 2 weeks, and they'll find out, it's not improving, and maybe we need to consider something more serious. But for what we know at this point, the Mariners are at least spinning a positive update on it.
I know it was just rumors, but now they're really glad that they didn't get rid of Luis Castillo when they were looking to shed payroll because of all the extra spending that they've been doing. Is there a need for them to maybe go and add some starting pitching if this doesn't turn around for them?
Yeah, certainly can't rule that out. With the Mariners and the way they're constructed right now, and the prospect system they want to have one of the best and deepest farm systems in baseball right now. So I fully expect them to be as active, if not more active, than any team come July. And we were all obviously eyeing a middle of the order type bat if one is available at that point. But again, if George Kirby is not fully right at that point, if Logan Gilbert is still on the shelf, then yeah, they certainly have to look at some sort of proven starting pitching depth there. At the same time, we saw yesterday another Logan Evans, 23-year-old 12th round pick 2 years ago, comes up and makes his major league debut yesterday, pitches 5 solid innings against the Miami Marlins. He's another sort of hidden gem that the Mariners have found and developed, and looks like a pretty good prospect for them. I think they're going to let him go, give him a runway here, and see what he can do while Logan Gilbert is still on the mend. But certainly can't rule that out. Again, I do expect the Mariners to be fully active this summer. They expect to be in it. It's a wide open AL West. It's a wide open AL overall, and I think the Mariners are quietly expecting that they're going to be in it throughout the season here.
Adam, is Cal Raleigh the best catcher in baseball? That's the question. I picked him. We did a thing where we got to pick 3 players to start our team with, and he was one of my 3. So obviously I think he's, if not one, he's 1 or 2. So is Cal Raleigh the best catcher in baseball?
I would defer to you on that, AJ, but I was saying a year ago at this time that, he's right there as the best two-way catcher in baseball, and now I don't even think you need to qualify it as two-way. I think he's right there. You obviously look at Will Smith and his track record with the Dodgers, Contreras in Milwaukee, Real Muto. Orioles obviously have a special one there too, but what Cal Raleigh is doing defensively, I think puts him over the top. Won the Platinum Glove last year in the American League, and then signing that contract, just what he means to this pitching staff beyond just the defense, the way he commands this pitching staff. There's a reason these guys have been so good the past couple years. A lot of reasons these guys have been so good, but certainly Cal Raleigh is near the top of the list. these guys don't shake off Cal Raleigh. And if they do, they hear about it. And if they do, Cal Raleigh is not giving them another option at that point. It's actually pretty entertaining sometimes when some of the young pitchers try to shake him off or want something else. He's just not having it. So he's earned that trust. And now he's doing it with the bat consistently too, leading the majors, tied for the Major League in home runs. He's always had that slug. I think the goal for him this year offensively was to cut down on his strikeout rate a little bit, get on base a little bit more, be a tougher out with 2 strikes. And we are seeing that so far here in the first month. To me, he really has elevated himself into that next territory.
He's certainly making the most of that extension that they gave him right before the season started, Adam. I will see your Cal Raleigh. I'll raise you Andrés Muñoz. Is he the best reliever in baseball? We don't talk about him enough. Should we be?
Yeah, he's that's just his personality. He's really is one of the nicest guys. And in fact, as we talk right now, I think he's doing a charity event at a local animal shelter. He loves cats and he's raising awareness and doing something for cats here locally in Seattle. And he's just genuinely one of the nicest human beings I've been around. I have no problem acknowledging that. Just a genuinely sweet, likable, lovable guy. And then he can throw 100 miles per hour with a nasty sinker and then maybe the best slider in baseball as well. He's not allowed to run here in his first 14 appearances of the season. You look at his baseball WAR, he's right there with the top of all pitchers, not just relief pitchers right now through the first month of the season. So yeah, to me, a guy who's been underrated the last couple of years, probably because he's pitching in Seattle. But to me, he has absolutely elevated himself into that top tier class of relievers.
Anytime we ever talk about Seattle's offense the last few years, we say they're strong up the middle. Cal Raleigh, J.P. Crawford, Julio Rodríguez. All 3 guys are signed to an extension. The first one was J.P. Crawford. Is he the catalyst for this team? I know he's hitting 9th, and so it's hard to be like a catalyst. When I watch this team, and I don't watch as much as you watch or people on the West Coast watch, but I watch a lot of games, I feel like when he's not in the lineup, when he's injured, like last year he was injured for part of the year, when he's out there, something about him and the way he runs around the field with energy, it makes me feel like he's the catalyst. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah. He won a Gold Glove, I think, in 2020, and the defensive metrics don't love him because I don't think he is particularly strong going to his right. Everything else, he makes every single routine play, and I don't think you can say that about anyone. And I'm not picking on Elly De La Cruz, but the Mariners played there last week. I saw Elly De La Cruz again, it's only 3 games, but I saw every play for 3 games. And I would take J.P. Crawford defensively in a heartbeat over Elly De La Cruz. I know he makes those miraculous catches and pop-ups and has all these highlight plays. J.P. Crawford is the steadiest shortstop I think I've ever seen at the major league level over a long period. He's the best I've ever seen coming in on ground balls. He makes that play every time. He makes it look easy. Those aren't easy. And then you add in what he's doing again offensively. He gets on base as well as anyone in the American League right now, over 400 on base. He's got a great eye. That's exactly what you want at the bottom of the lineup. He's not going to give you a ton of home runs, but I think he's playing a lot freer right now. I think he's learned from Edgar Martinez, Kevin Seitzer, just up the middle, opposite field approaches. That's who he is at this stage of his career. He doesn't need to drive the ball to the ballpark. Just be a tough out, be a tough at bat, get on base as much as you can. And he's really valuable in that regard, and especially valuable for this team doing that at the bottom of the lineup.
If you want a razor that looks good, makes you look good, gets the shave done, and doesn't cost much,
Oh.
Is it nice?
That's a hairy John. And you can smell it too. Smell it, John. Smell it.
Oh, wow. What
After
is that?
shave?
See, that's Harry's. That's the shave gel. I'm telling you, look. I mean, this.
You look scary, man.
It's the shot.
Fresh.
Now come in, get this.
I don't want to touch this head anymore. Oh, my God.
Soft it is.
That looks like
it is
German
soft.
engineered blades made
It
in their
is
own
soft.
factory that stay sharp longer.
I'm using the razor, and it does not. You can start to feel when
Yeah,
Yeah.
it gets dull. I mean, you guys only do like here and like up here.
true.
I'm doing acreage. Get the edge on your shave with Harry's. Normally their trial set is $10, but right now you can get it for just $6 at harrys.com/foul. That's our exclusive link, harrys.com/foul for a $6 trial set.
They got rid of Scott Servais last year, and we had just had Scott on. He was a great interview, and he knows the game inside and out. Did that make a difference, getting him out and having Dan Wilson come in? Because last month they were better. Now they've carried it over into this month, especially offensively. So does it make that big of a difference? And I don't want you to take a shot at all at Scott Servais, but is it just the fact that maybe it was a different voice saying maybe the same thing but a different way?
Yeah, I think there is something to that. Again, Scott Servais, I thought he was exactly what this organization needed at the right time. He really provided a ton of stability, got them to the playoffs in 2022, ended that pretty historic drought. And I think he was a great manager. Honestly, I think he was really underrated. I think he got a bad rap for some of his, bullpen decision-making stuff. Obviously, those things are easy to second guess for Monday morning quarterbacks. But I thought he did a really, really good job for this organization for a long time. That said, they just got to that point last August. It was 2 months of pretty bad baseball. They blew a 10-game lead, and I think we could all kind of see it coming. I didn't think it was going to happen when it did. But, to your point, I think a change of voice, a little bit of a change of tone sometimes can do teams wonders, and I think it did for the Mariners. Really what's happened is they've really just simplified things. I think of Dan Wilson as kind of the ultimate throwback type manager. He was, he played for Lou Piniella. You think of Lou Piniella and his style. Obviously, you think of him throwing bases and blowing up on umpires and all the drama. And, he was a fun guy to be around in that regard, but he got the best out of his players every night. And I think that's what Dan Wilson took from Lou, that he just wants these guys to show up and compete every single night. Just win this pitch, win this at bat, win this game. We'll worry about tomorrow. And I think that's the right message at the right time for this team, especially for some of the young guys on the team. Julio in particular, just get in the box and compete. You don't have to worry about a specific pitch in a specific zone in a specific count, which is what the Mariners were doing. I felt like at times last year they got too deep in the woods, in the weeds offensively. And guys were thinking too much in the box. You could almost see their heads spinning a little bit when they step in. Now we're seeing guys just line drive up the middle. If you get something hanging, drive it out of the ballpark, and it's working. Again, I think they're third in baseball right now in home runs. You got Cal Raleigh, you got Jorge Polanco. We haven't mentioned his name yet. Off to a career start to his season here, and it is working. Again, I think Scott Servais was the right guy at the right time. And it does feel like the early returns with Dan Wilson he's the right guy at the right time to kind of help this team and this organization take that next step.
Adam, is this the time for the – oh, sorry. Go ahead, guys.
Oh, no, sorry. Another name that you didn't mention was Player of the Week last week, and Dylan Moore, who has been doing really well and consistent at bats like you're talking about, taking those line drives. Do you think – or I should say, who – is most affected by Kevin Seitzer and Bobby Magianis coming in and making this change? Like, have you seen a drastic approach change where it's like not pull hook balls, take the ball to the opposite field?
Yeah, I put JP and Dylan Moore at the top of that list for sure. Dylan Moore, and I talked to him about this. I was like, when I think of Dylan Moore, I think of a straight pull a ball in the air hitter. He's a guy who doesn't have a ton of pop, but he's got good pop for a major league hitter and for a super utility type guy. He's kind of got the most out of has talent and athleticism. And I don't mean that in a demeaning way. Like, he's made himself a legit major leaguer. He won a Gold Glove last year. He's been super valuable for this team because he can virtually play every position on the field and then be a guy who crushes left-handers. This year, I think he went into spring training. They worked with him. Hey, you're strong enough, you're good enough to be able to hit the ball up the middle and hit it to right field too. And I thought it was telling in the first homestand. He hit a home run at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, 2 straightaway right field, something he'd never done in his career before. And then I think his first series on the road in San Francisco, he hit one out straightaway center field too. I'm like, okay, this is different. And you saw it start to click for him pretty quick, and it's carried over. And again, he's a guy who they feel comfortable enough where he could be an everyday guy at second base, maybe even third base, but he is so good. You can plug and play him anywhere. He's valuable coming off the bench. He's a great pinch runner, great pinch hitter. That's the type of guy you see the Dodgers employ for so long now and make best use of, really find that matchup advantage somewhere. And he provides just so much for the Mariners in that regard. And this is, again, I talk about a guy off to a career year. Perfect time for him. He's going to be a free agent after this year, and I think he's making himself some money too. So good for Demo.
Adam, before we let you go, is this the year that the Mariners should shine? I mean, the Athletics aren't doing anything. Houston isn't the same powerhouse. The Rangers aren't in anyone's top power rankings or anything like that. Is this the year? The Angels are angeling.
Yeah, Angels are, yeah, aren't they? Yeah, again, I think we all thought it'd be the Astros, the Rangers, and the Mariners kind of jockeying for position in the AL West. It's played out that way so far. Mariners had a rough sort of 10-game stretch, 12-game stretch to start the season. Since then, they've been one of the best teams in baseball, and I think that's their expectation. You know, I know people were frustrated, Mariners fans were frustrated about their lack of moves and lack of spending in the offseason. And frankly, I think that was all legitimate. But I think the Mariners were quietly pretty confident that, you know, if a healthy Jorge Polanco is able to bounce back, if they can get Julio just kind of on track a little bit earlier this year, and I think there are some signs, despite his low batting average, I think there's some signs that Julio could get right sooner than he typically does. And then their pitching, obviously, that they're not as healthy as they have been right now. But I think they're pretty confident in just their operation, no matter who they have out there, that they're going to get some results pitching-wise, pitching in Seattle in particular. So, yeah, I fully expect the Mariners to be there at the end. Are they the best team in the American League right now? Are they going to be the best team in the American League come September? I don't know, but I think they're going to be in the mix. And I think Jerry Dipoto has proven that he's not afraid to take a big swing. Come July, he got Luis Castillo a few years ago. He got Randy Arozarena last year. He will deal a big-time prospect if it's the right person at the right time. And to me, that makes them a really fascinating follow, if nothing else.
Okay, two things. One, nobody can hit in Seattle, so you're giving them way too much credit because, I mean, eventually the batter's eye is going to go slanted, and we're going to have to hear about, oh, the Mariners can't hit. I mean, all of a sudden they can hit. It's weird how you change your approach and stop trying to hit home runs on every pitch in a park that's not conducive to home runs. Strange how that works out. But also, Julio Rodríguez, you mentioned it. Why does he always get off the slow starts? Every year it's like, oh, we need Julio to get started. I mean, and then they're like last year, oh, he changed his swing and he did this. And why you find something that works, just stick with it and go into it with the next season. Why do we got to try to change everything? And why is it cold? Is it what is it with Julio that it takes him till May or June to get going?
Yeah, I think if I had the answer, I just don't. The Mariners clearly don't have a great answer for that either. You can check my email inbox right now too. Mariners fans are asking the same thing, AJ. I'm hearing it all the time. I think the frustrating thing for the Mariners and Mariners fans is it feels like the same thing over and over with Julio at this time of year. Just a lot of chase, a lot of sliders off the plate, and you know he's not making those adjustments. I will say, talking to people, even talking to Julio a little bit, to me, he does feel like he's in a better headspace right now than he has been early the past few seasons. He's hitting the ball harder than ever, particularly early in the season, like a significant jump, 2 miles per hour average exit velo. His BABIP is really low right now. And for a guy with his athleticism, his speed, I just can't imagine his BABIP is going to stay around 220 the entire year. So we're used to seeing him pick it up after the All-Star game. And like I said, I think there are some real signs, particularly his spike in his walk rate right now, that breakout's going to happen a little bit sooner. Again, Mariners fans just going to have to be patient. We're all going to have to be patient till it comes, but he's too good to stay down this long, if that makes sense.
All right, Adam, appreciate the insight. Great stuff. Appreciate you coming on Foul Territory for the first time. You're a Foul Territory newbie. Hope to have you on again. You can catch Adam and read his stuff on the Seattle Times. We appreciate it. Have a good day.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.